How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Twigger coming at you with another high ELO commentary. This time I've actually pre-recorded this game. I believe I was doing something else at the time, but wanted this to record in the background, and I was going to come and do some commentary over it. This is going to be featuring Complexity's Prawley and Complexity's Lotta Morris. The dynamic duo, the jungler and the mid lane player for Team Complexity. Actually playing some interesting champions, especially Lotta Mortis playing a jungle Gragas, which I don't think I've ever seen. So it could be very, very good. It could be absolutely horrible. It could be just meta-shattering. So maybe we'll see some of the jungle Gragas and some of their plays in the summer promotion series that's going to be going on. I believe it's next week for the NA scene, or maybe this week. I'm not entirely sure. I just watched a little bit of the European summer promotion series that's going on today. But Prawley is actually playing AP Kennen, he's actually known for his Kennen play. He loves that champion and is incredibly good with Kennen, so it's going to be interesting to see just how much he can do with that. But Lotta Mortis actually getting himself in a little bit of a pickle here, is going to just be able to walk away from that one, so that's good. I don't really think that Gragas is going to be that great dueling somebody in the jungle. But once again, I just don't know how good a jungle Gragas is. But it looks like they're actually still in the enemy team's jungle. Prawley's actually come down to try to assist Lotta Mortis a bit. They're not going to get the stun onto that Kha'Zix, but are going to force the flash from him. So that is a win. But look at that, he just ends up stealing the Blue Wraith anyways. But it looks like they're actually coming down onto them. He manages to get over the wall, and the flash being used by Prawley to try to stun up Ryze, and he's going to flash over the wall again. So nothing actually coming out from this play yet, but a lot of fighting going on by these two Complexity members. There's the flash from Lotta Mortis to slow down, and there's the first blood onto the Kha'Zix, and Gragas is actually going to be getting the blue buff from the Kha'Zix, I believe, so very, very good trade for them. That was actually a very interesting fight, really utilizing those walls and their flashes to a great extent. But a lot of summoners being burned for that, so I think the junglers are really going to be kind of focused on camping this mid lane now that most of the summoners are down. I think that Gragas is going to have an easier time ganking somebody like Ryze than Kha'Zix is going to have ganking somebody like a Kennen, who has so many different escapes. And Lotta Mortis looks like he's getting caught out a little bit here. Is Ryze going to be able to get the one more shot on him? He actually manages to get away. He just goes and belly flops over that Dragon Pit and manages to survive. Ryze couldn't get another Q or a Runic Prism on him. So great escape from Lotta Mortis. It would have been horrible to have lost both of those buffs. And Zac up in the top lane against this Vladimir. Always like seeing a Zac. He's a very, very cool champion, and in the professional scene seems to be played quite frequently. And look at the damage going down onto Ryze. And that's actually going to be a kill for Prawley. That last turret hit is not going to be enough to kill him. Just going to walk away from that one with a free kill under his belt. A lot of damage coming down from the jungle Kha'Zix onto Lulu, but it looks like they're going to be able to escape this one. He doesn't quite have the damage that he needs to take them down yet. And he actually takes another turret shot, so he is a little bit low. Going to be difficult for him to get back in the jungle and level up a bit. He is only level 3, but actually Lotta Mortis is level 3 as well. So never mind, that is not a point that I need to make. I thought that Lotta Mortis might have been a little bit ahead of him, but turns out they are actually the same level. And Zac once again going in onto this Vlad. There's the Ignite going down onto both of them. Is Vlad going to get another Q? The flash coming out from the Zac, and he's going to pick up his Blobling that gives him just enough life. No, it actually didn't. I think his passive went off, because now he's just standing there. But it looks like we have a gank down in the bot lane. A lot of turret shots being taken. Lotta Mortis does manage to take down the Sona, and they are going to manage to take down the Misfortune as well, and Caitlyn does happen to get out of that with barely any health, but it looks like the buff exchange has been completed. Caitlyn now sitting with the double buff, which is going to be absolutely terrifying for that Sona Misfortune bot lane. So great overall play. Lotta Mortis did have to sacrifice his life, but he did get 2 kills for that, so completely worth it. And giving 1 kill and 1 assist to that Caitlyn, and you really want that Caitlyn to have some kills. Probably just sitting here farming in the mid lane. And he did now just use his E, and so he's going to be a complete sitting duck for this Kha'Zix and the Ryze is going to use 1 more Q to take that one down. Very good play on the Kha'Zix and the Ryze part, just waiting for that, I believe it's the Lightning Rush? Yeah, I think it's the Lightning Rush from that Kennen to come in and try to last hit with those. And that pretty much took out all of the escapes from Prawley, because the flash is still down from that previous engagement in the blue team's jungle. So it wasn't too hard to catch on to him after that Lightning Rush had been used. And just going to take a look at the CS for a second here. 32 to 34 in the top lane, so very, very even. But Zac standing with that one extra kill over the Vladimir, so he is a little bit ahead. And in the jungle, 12 to 19, nothing really too surprising there. But Gragas sitting with 2 kills and 1 assist, so definitely ahead in that regard. 28 to 34. Apparently, I'm turning down my brightness in this recording. I don't think it actually affected anything. 30 to 35 for Prawley actually in the mid lane. So a little bit in his favor, but certainly not a lot. And 21 to 43, the big difference being for that Caitlyn over top of the Miss Fortune. Things are definitely going that AD carry's way. Interesting build by Prawley. What I'm seeing now with that Bilgewater Cutlass rush on Kennen in the mid lane. You sometimes see with Kennen doing those early kind of Doran's Blades, because the Doran's Ring really doesn't help you. It gives you the AP, but you don't have mana, so you kind of waste a bit of stats there. So a lot of people tend to go for that Doran's Blade first, which does give you the health, and it also gives you some attack damage, so your laning phase is actually great. It makes last hitting easier, and your auto attack harass on the enemy champion is so much stronger, and then you tend to build AP after that. And the Vladimir ultimate just got used onto Zac. He's going to jump and start bouncing all over the place, and it's not actually going to be enough to kill him, but he does manage to take down that Vladimir, and he's feeling pretty ballsy coming back in for that Kha'Zix. I can't say that Kha'Zix would really be able to take him out right now, but here comes Law to Mortis as well. They're not actually going to catch him. The jump coming out just in time. And Prawley's ultimate now being used. Can't catch up to the Ryze, so he didn't actually get the stun. He did miss a Q there as well. So Ryze is now turning on to the aggressive here. He does have his flash available, so I believe that this is going to be a kill. But Prawley is now trying to get in. The flash did get used, and he just cannot catch up to this Ryze. Is he going to get another stun? There's the... Oh, so unfortunate. He used a flash thinking that he could get away from that, that Q from Ryze, but he had already cast it, and it was in mid-air as he flashed. So not only losing his life to the Ryze, but also losing his flash. So kind of the gotta hate it when that happens, when you flash and still end up dying. So now he's going to be... The flash was also burned by the Ryze, so he didn't lose everything there. They can now kind of gank Ryze and shouldn't have too much problem, especially once Gragas hits level 6, to use that explosive cast to knock him into Prawley's ultimate. I think the main thing in that fight was that Prawley did not really get a solid stun off on Ryze. The ultimate didn't really hit him. Probably didn't even use his ignite. I don't know if it was available during that fight or whether it was just on cooldown and now it's just come up since he's been dead. But who knows, right? Only time will tell when we go back and watch this video again and realize that it was on cooldown or something. Caitlyn being taken quite low from that Kha'Zix gank. A couple traps being placed down. And a lot of damage once again going onto the Vladimir, but it looks like just going to jump away from that one. No real concern. That's what I love about Zac, is just his engage ability and his disengage ability. Just so cool. He's a very unique champion. I am a big fan of playing him. And there's the explosive cast, and a great pull from that Vladimir. Just completely nullifies the explosive cast, and he's just going to walk away from that one, knowing full well that Gragas' ultimate is going to be down for about the next minute. Always a good position to be in when you know that the enemy team jungler doesn't have as much pressure as he would normally if he had his ultimate. Had to take a sip of my coffee there. Caitlyn getting pretty ballsy against this Miss Fortune. Guess they really like their odds. She does get the headshot proc off onto that Miss Fortune. I don't believe she's going to be able to run away from this one. But there's a teleport from the Ryze, and the Kha'Zix coming out from the other side. Great little play right there. They had her completely cornered. Ryze casting that Runic Prism onto the Lulu. Lulu wasn't even in range to cast the ultimate onto Caitlyn. It was just perfectly played that Kha'Zix had the river covered, the teleport was covering her retreat back to her turret, and then she had Miss Fortune and Sona blocking the pathway to the enemy side. You can't escape that, especially after you just use your 90 caliber net to try to get away from the teleporting Ryze. Overall, just a great gank. And look at the damage once again going on to this Vladimir. He hasn't even finished his Hex Tech Revolver yet, so he's not going to be able to get this health back overly quickly. But it looks like Prawley has caught Ryze out in the jungle. Going to use that Lightning Rush to get back into range with the ultimate. Has managed to get one stun off, but I don't believe he's actually going to be able to catch up for this last one. No, the Lightning Rush is not up yet, so Ryze does manage to get away with that one with his life. jumping in here. I think the Let's Bounce is probably going to be coming up, but he did miss the slowdown, but there's the Let's Bounce. The Vladimir ultimate is on him as well. The last bounce is going to kill Vlad, and it just wasn't enough to kill the Zac. I don't know what this Vladimir is going to be able to do against this Zac now. I think he's gotten a little bit too fed for Vladimir to be up there by himself. I think he just needs to let that turret die and start kind of pushing with his team for some global objectives like Dragon. Because he is not having a very good day. He is not having a fun time. And look at the damage coming down from Caitlyn onto that Misfortune. And actually, the big thing to point out here is the CS difference now between Prawley and Ryze and Caitlyn and Misfortune. But I will talk about that right after this, because it looks like Zac is being caught out here. The Runic Prism actually went off, and oh my god, the Kha'Zix actually failed his jump, had to flash over the wall, but then Zac had his flash available as well and just flashed right over the wall after him. So a fail followed by a good escape from the Zac. Well, I mean a fail on the Kha'Zix part. Can't believe he failed that jump, but it was kind of funny seeing that the Runic Prism travel with Zac. And the cool thing about that is that the duration of the Runic Prism was actually going while Zac was in midair traveling, so it pretty much just nullified the Runic Prism all in all. Interesting little... I don't know, I wouldn't consider that a bug, I guess, if he had already cast his jump. But I did not know that you could do that. But what I was saying before, the CS difference now between the mid laners and the ADCs, so 89 to 62 in favor of that Kennen, and 99 to 61 in favor of Caitlyn. Unreal right now. Like, it's, especially with the kills, a 7 to 4, and now getting that Dragon, we're already looking at just under a 5k gold lead for this red team of the two members of Complexity. Not two guys that you really want to start coming ahead in this game. And look at that, Zac is now once again just going straight onto this Vladimir. He does have his Spirit Visage, so those little bloblets are healing for quite a lot. And Vlad actually opted to go for that Haunting Guise first, so going for a little bit more Magic Pen and a little bit more damage rather than survivability from something like that Hextech Revolver. I'm not sure I fully agree, because he's probably going to die here again. Is the Let's Bounce is going to come out. I don't think he's actually going to want to try to fight Vladimir and Kha'Zix. Might be a little bit too much damage, but there's the W from Kha'Zix. Not actually going to be enough to kill Zac. So very good play on his part, knowing how much damage that he could take, just barely surviving that one. And it looks like Lotta Mortis is now trying to pick a fight, but Prawley's actually in on the other side, manages to kill that Vladimir. Is the Vladimir ultimate going to be enough? The Blade of the Ruin King coming out of Prawley as well, and it's actually not going to be enough to kill Prawley, but Gragas actually did go down, so Lotta Mortis is currently dead. They did not manage to pick up the Kha'Zix yet. And it just occurred to me, that Prawley built a Blade of the Ruin King, so very interesting Kennen build so far to rush that one. And Prawley is in the jungle trying to escape this one. Is he actually going to get away from the Ryze? The Ryze just saw him. Oh my god, what an excellent flash. Ryze was in the animation of doing his Q, and Kennen managed to just flash away just at the last second, so it actually cancelled the line of sight from Ryze, and his Q actually didn't go off, so I cannot believe that Prawley actually escaped that Ryze there. That was pretty impressive. I think most people would have been looking at the shot by that point and probably just would have died from a Ryze auto attack, but it probably does manage to escape that one just by the skin of his teeth. And now, you know what, Zac actually has not been back to buy any new items, so he's going to come back. He's probably sitting on quite a bit of gold. He's going to come back with a vengeance, I'd have to say. So picking up those blobs, really keeping his sustain up, but it looks like the red team is running into a trap here. A great combination of bullet time and the crescendo, but it was not enough damage to take these two out. There's the Lulu ultimate to knock both of them up, but the Caitlyn is getting very, very low. A nice shield from Lulu, managing to save Caitlyn's life for those last auto attacks from Misfortune. And there's the ultimate coming from the Caitlyn. That actually is going to be enough to kill Sona, but Ryze is here for the cleanup. Probably going to pick up a double kill here, but no, Kha'Zix is going to jump in and steal away that kill. Very good positioning from that Ryze to make it down there. Didn't even have to use his teleport, was just already on his way. So great little game knowledge there from the Ryze. And Zac is just once again farming up top, now sitting with a pretty substantial lead, 130 to 86. And here comes Complexity, going to try to do something against this bot lane duo. But first, we're going to be looking at Zac and Vladimir. There's the ultimate coming down from Zac. I don't know if his pool is going to be able to save him, but looking at what's going down in the bottom lane, Vladimir did get killed by the Zac. Kha'Zix got killed by the Gragas, but Ryze also managed to pick up Prawley. And Lord of Mortis does not want to fight this Ryze, which is kind of surprising considering that Ryze does not have any mana left. So I would think that, well, actually he's probably now running because of Miss Fortune and Sona coming back, but at that point Ryze had no mana and Lord of Mortis had his blue buff and red buff, so I think he could have probably done quite a bit of damage to him. But all in all, it was a 1-for-1 trade, but Ryze is starting to get quite a few kills. He's now on a rampage, I believe. No, that is not him, actually. Who is that, actually? Oh, that's on the red team. What am I doing? That's Zac. I'm an idiot. Never mind. But Ryze is sitting at 4 kills, 1 death, and 1 assist. So I guess if he hasn't died between those 4 kills, then he is on a rampage. But I don't know what he's actually sitting at right now. And it looks like they were trying to steal away. Sorry, Sona was trying to actually save her red buff from Lotta Mortis, but the smite was too strong for Sona to compete with. And the ultimate being popped by the Kha'Zix to try to escape this one. And Lotta Mortis is just kind of going to body slam straight through there, and Caitlyn's now doing a bit of damage to the Ryze, but a lot of damage coming out from that Ryze poke with his Qs and that Runic Prism. They're just going to speed Caitlyn up and let that Bloodthirster do its work, healing her back up to full health. And now at this point, we're about 6k ahead for red team over top of the blue team. 3 turrets, 12 kills to 8 kills, and I believe it's 2 dragons now. It could still just be 1. I'm not entirely sure. But a big gold lead being created here, and big CS differences. The lucky thing is that Ryze has managed to bring it back a little bit. He's sitting at 98 to Prawley's 106, so it was a much bigger difference before him, but he has managed to last hit pretty well. But still, the big difference is coming from that top lane and that ADC. And there's some damage going down on the Sona. A great explosive cast, knocking Sona right into the enemy team. The game over coming out. But great Vladimir ultimate, and it matched up with the bullet time from Miss Fortune, doing a lot of damage. Ryze is now on the hunt for Prawley. The Blade of the Ruin King coming out for Prawley to try to slow down Ryze's assault on him. And I don't think he's going to be able to catch him. No, he does actually run away from that. Does not want to fight Prawley right now. Could not catch him. The thing about Kennen, he's just so fast. And Miss Fortune barely escaping with her life. And there's the ultimate actually onto Vladimir. He did not have his pool available, so he just got completely sniped from Caitlyn. And now they're just doing so much poke. It looks like Prawley's taking a lot of damage, though, from that turret. The Kha'Zix jumps over the wall and manages to take out Prawley. Great crescendo onto Lord of Mortis. He's not taking any turret shots yet. He hasn't done any damage to the champions. And now Kha'Zix is trying to run in here and do as much damage as he can. He is getting the reset, so there's another kill for the Kha'Zix. Actually, it was Sona who got the first kill. Kha'Zix jumping over the Caitlyn, trying to do as much damage as he can to take her out, not managing to do it. And while this is all going on, Miss Fortune is dueling Zac in the bot lane. Zac does pick her up, really healing off of those bloblets, and Sona actually manages to pick up the Caitlyn. So Caitlyn was very, very low, but I guess the Bloodthirster sustain just was not enough to deal with something like the power cord and the Q that comes out of Sona. She does manage to do quite a bit of damage, so her picking up that kill wasn't a horrible trade for the blue team. They did manage to get a couple kills, so hopefully they can come to the next team fight a little bit stronger. But all in all, you look at this Zac sitting at 502. Already has that Sunfire Cape and his Spirit Visage. He already has Magic Pen, Boots, and Adorn Shield. Like, he's not only tanky, but he's also going to be doing so much damage to your team that you can't really ignore him. He's just going to be bouncing away in your team, having that that W percentage health damage, and also burning everybody with that Sunfire Cape. It's going to be very hard to ignore that guy, but he's also quite tanky, so you don't want to focus him. It's going to be interesting to see how the blue team manages to deal with him. I think the blue team right now needs to find a team fight where they can combine all of their ults in a very good manner. So if you get Vladimir's ultimate down first, and then you combine the Crescendo and the Miss Fortune bullet time, and then really you just have Ryze nailing people, and you have Kha'Zix come for the cleanup. But here's a little bit of a duel between Kha'Zix and the Caitlyn. The ultimate has been used. Oh my god, I didn't even get to really commentate on that fight. Kha'Zix actually jumped into a trap from Caitlyn, and she just absolutely melted him. She's actually sitting with the completed Phantom Dancer as well as the Bloodthirster. So a full Phantom Dancer ahead, and boots actually of the Miss Fortune. Miss Fortune has not opted for her boots yet. She's just trying to go straight for damage so that way she can actually attempt to duel with Caitlyn, so her damage isn't lacking. But right now, oh my god, and the flash coming in from the Zac. I don't know if he's actually going to be able to make it to Rise. No, he doesn't, so the passive actually goes off. And they're just going to take out these Bloblets, and I think there's finally the shutdown on the Zac going for the Rise. Sona managing to block that ace in the hole from Caitlyn, so not going to be a kill for her today. Really not the person that you wanted that shutdown bonus to go to. Rise is kind of a late game terror. And definitely not the person that you wanted having that extra, I think it was 500 gold or something like that, or somewhere near. So Rise already finishing that Rod of the Ages, and does have a Chain Vest plus that Mana Crystal. So he's probably going to be going for a Glacial Shroud, is what I'm thinking he's going to go for. I could very well be wrong. He could be building that really into anything, but he's also been filling up that Tear of the Goddess, so it's going to be interesting to see when he does actually finish that into his Archangel's Staff. That will make a big difference in his damage spike. And it looks like blue team is going to try to take the dragon, but they are now going to realize that it is already gone, and I could not possibly tell you when the respawn of that dragon is. But probably now catching Kha'Zix out, and there's the ultimate going down, already the stun being placed onto the Kha'Zix, and he's going to have no chance against Prawley. And there we go, once again, with a moving Runic Prism, right? The Body Slam was already cast, so he just kept on moving with the Runic Prism. The Lulu ultimate coming out on herself rather than the Gragas, so it looks like Gragas is going to die. Lulu's probably going to die as well, but nope, they actually stopped chasing. Caitlyn trying to do as much damage as she can. Wow, the Q actually picks her up from that stationary position after casting her 90 caliber net, but there's the ultimate from the Miss Fortune, picking up that Caitlyn, but here comes Zac from the back. Hey, that rhymed. Picking up that Vladimir, who is already at quite low health, and now is actually making his way towards Miss Fortune. He does have his ultimate available, so there it is. Let's bounce, bouncing all over this Miss Fortune and the turret, just tanking the entire thing up. Look at the damage coming out of Zac. Just jumps for one more time, heals up a little bit, going to take one more turret shot, and he's not going to die from that, and he's just going to walk away with an extra kill. So we came back with a Warden's Mail as well, pretty much making it so Miss Fortune is not going to be doing much damage at all to Zac, and same with Kha'Zix, really. But with all the armor from the Warden's Mail and from the Sunfire Cape, it's going to be very difficult to kind of pierce through the armor of Zac. And sitting at 7-1-2, he's just so strong. I'm actually surprised. This is one of the first times I've seen Zac in kind of this high ELO play where they haven't built a Haunting Guise fairly quickly. People like Wicked have always said that that is such a great item to have on him because it gives you that little bit of tankiness, but also with that magic penetration, which Zac just loves. So interesting to see if he's going to build that later or if he's just going to completely ignore it and be more of like the tank for his team. But in terms of the people that we're focusing on today, Prawley is sitting at 4-4-3, and probably one of the weirdest Kennen builds I have ever seen. This is like watching Froggins and Nivea, where he can pretty much just build whatever he wants because he's so confident and comfortable on that champion that he's going to just outplay people. I think that's what he's looking for. He's got a bit of quite a bit of AD, I would say, and lifesteal from that Blade of the Ruined King, and with that active, just going to do wonders for him. But then also building the AP with and the ghosts are actually coming out. I cannot see where they went, but I did see him activate that item. A great exploding cast onto the Rise from Lotta Mortis's Gragas, and a lot of damage actually going down onto the Caitlyn, but has not managed to pick her up yet. The ultimate coming down from Prawley on the Kha'Zix. Is Kha'Zix gonna... It was actually a kill for kill. Nice little duel there going on between the two. Sona actually has an Ignite ticking on her and is going to be enough. Zac picks up that one with quite a few assists, and now it looks like the red team's just trying to run away from this one. Lotta Mortis getting a good barrel onto Vladimir and Miss Fortune. They managed to take Vladimir down fairly low from just the Q from Gragas and the Q from Caitlyn. And there are the ghosts running out. Are they actually going to catch the Miss Fortune? I don't believe they actually caught her. Oh, it looks like they actually might have. So the flash having to come out from Miss Fortune. It looks like Vladimir is now kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. The ultimate did go down onto the Caitlyn, and it is actually going to be enough. So Vladimir picking up a double kill. Very good for him. But now here comes Zac once again. The red buff doing wonders against that Miss Fortune. Rise actually flashing and trying to get the Runic Prism off onto this Zac, but he's just so tanky. I really don't think there's anything that this Rise can do. The Runic Prism once again traveling away from Rise, not really what he wants. So a teleport and a flash being used from the Rise, and Zac didn't need to burn anything. I don't know how they're really planning on dealing with this Zac because he's sitting at 9-1-2. He's going back to base now and is probably going to buy another item of significant importance. Yeah, there you go. Oh, dear lordy. He now just bought a Randuin's Omen. Pretty impressive stuff. Don't know how the blue team is going to fare with this one. And it looks like the blue team is actually trying to do a little bit of a desperation Baron here. They know how far behind they are. They're 10k gold behind. And they're going to try to take this Baron under the noses of red team. But what they don't know is that there is a pink ward sitting right there. Actually, that might have been the blue team's pink ward. I'm not sure. This is the one thing I don't like about doing recording over top of a game that I haven't watched yet, is I can't control the screen, so I can't see what I want. But there's a flash actually coming in, and the less bounce from Zac doing so much damage to Misfortune. There goes the crescendo, and now a huge blob, picking up a triple kill. Is this actually going to be a quadra kill? Could Zac get a pentakill? No, Vladimir is running away like a little bitch. So no pentakill for the Zac, but a great quadra kill, and actually still sitting at like a third of his HP. When that Lulu popped the ultimate, that was just a huge blob that was bouncing all over the team, doing so much damage, and he's just so tanky. With that Randuin's Omen, he can just do whatever he wants with that turret hitting him, but it looks like the surrender is now out, probably just using that ultimate on the Baron. They didn't even get to take it. So what a great game. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Bringing up something like a Jungle Gragas from Lotta Mortis was definitely interesting, really meta-breaking, and probably on his amazing AP, AD kind of Kennen in the mid lane. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one, and I will see you guys in the next commentary.